Cloud Kingdom.
I felt like Cloud Kingdom was in Egypt just then, or something like this, but
yeah, maybe I can see why. Yep. But well, it's not quite in Egypt just yet. To the top right, we have the Slayers player in the red. It is
Slayers Coca.
and his opponent to the bottom left in the blue. As all LGIM players, all three of them today were colored blue. He matches, he is
LGIM Seed.
that game is gonna be so awesome. I'm so looking forward to this. Seed is, I would say, pretty good. Koga isn't too bad either. I think this game could be decent.
one of the most exciting things about Seed is he does things like this, making his pylon on the high ground. Going to be doing a gateway expand of some kind. Very unique. Me makes the games more exciting and very scary for the Zerg players because this type of build is not one that you see often.
Gateway first for Seed, and this gives him a lot of options to be very aggressive here, of course. On the other hand, he can just go for one gateway into expand if he chooses to do so. But depending on what exactly he scouts, it gives him a lot of opportunities to be aggressive in this game.
Yeah, and he's getting his gas right away.
When this started to pop up again, I actually saw some players even going for 4 gates once more because it was just it wasn't expected anymore. We've even seen it in the GSL. It was in Code A, if I remember correctly, at the beginning of the season. But this style is definitely something that Zergs have to get used to.
So, Koka is actually just going to take his third first before his natural, even though he wasn't blocked as natural. I find that really weird. But that's what he's going to do. No? Maybe? No, he's actually just hiding the drone over there. This is really strange. Now he's going to send the drone back. And a lot of times, players like Seed will try to force the hatchery to be at the third base, block it with their probe, and then fall with the 4 gate because the hatchery is so far away. In this case, it doesn't look like that is going to be his plan, but he is going for the core with just 1 gas. He saved a lot of chrono energy, and Koka now sees it. He didn't go for a drone scout, so he's getting this information very late.
The Overlord sees everything, and currently we have 19 harvesters for Seed. He's building number 20 right now, and we'll find out if he at some point starts to stop with his probe production, which will also, of course, trigger some kind of gateway response. And, well, we don't have the expansion, but this is something, as you already pointed out, that Koka knows. He has the Overlord position, he's getting additional ones now, and he needs to be very careful here, and he knows it. So I would be a little bit surprised to see Seed actually go for the strategy. But another drone is heading out, and at this point, Koka could well take another base, and there it is. But there's also the Nexus for his opponent.
All the chrono boosts so far has been used on Warp Gate research, but he still has 2 chronos. He's not using either. It's not being used on probes or chrono or units right now, really interestingly, but he is getting the gas, and he may just start to use that chrono only on sentries to get the sentry count up so he can hold his expansion. It's going to be very important. Obviously, Ling gets taken out here, but he sees the Nexus with the Overlord. This is not a secret to him. And Stargate going down. This is a bit bold by Seed to rely on so few units. If Koka just made a ton of speedlings and continued to attack him, he would be in so much trouble with no forge and no real units to defend with.
Yeah, exactly. But Koka doesn't have these information, so he can't actually do it. And that's what basically Seed is hoping for at this point. But you're right, with aggression, this could end very, very badly.
I like how confident Seed is, though. It's one of the things I like about him as a player. Against MC, for example, in the finals, he looked so confident. It was almost as if the match didn't matter to him with the decisions he made. He was like, well, this is what I thought is the smartest way to do this. Not going to change how I do things. I'm just doing it.
I actually mentioned it already at Assembly, but I want to point it out again here at GSL. And the final, I talked afterwards a bit with the manager of MC. And, well, MC, they basically happened to be at the same restaurants where we were. And we talked a little bit about the games. And MC's plan was originally to just go for the macro game, because he's like, well, everyone expects me to be really, really aggressive in these games, so I want to surprise him. I want to make sure that he cannot really anticipate what I'm doing, so he tried to play it a little bit more defensive, a little bit more in this macro style, and he never expected C to be this aggressive, and he completely caught him off guard. And after he lost the first map, everything just spiraled out of control. Nerves played a bit of an issue too. And now this is exactly what Seed might try to do here once again, taking an early lead in the game and then win the best of 3 because he's able to just get the psychological momentum.
Yeah, and he's actually positioned a pylon perfectly to the right side to see when the Overlord is coming in. Sees it right when it comes. Now he's going to kill both Overlords. This will further supply block Coca. He's making 2 Overlords right now. And Forge is going up. Basically, the only thing that Seed does not have is +1 because his Fortress is now coming down. And the Zerglings coming through here are so late, they do not have speed. Now Seed has enough time to actually get more sentries out. He's going to be totally fine against this. Seed has basically done everything. He's got tech and expanded. He made his assimilator his 3rd gas before the Nexus even finished. What a bold guy. What a bold build.
You have Spore Crawlers now for his opponent, and he was also able to just deny every scouting, so he didn't even spot his opponent's Stargate. And we currently have 2 Void Rays on the map that are now trying to do some pressure, but of course with those Spore Crawlers he will be fine defending against it, or at least he should be. But we have Twilight Council +1 attack coming up, so Seed already preparing the next step, and it's not going to be some kind of very aggressive transition into, let's say, Colossi, what we usually see.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's just going to be a very safe transition where he's going to be able to get +2 and blink out. I love this harassment, knowing that if there were extra queens, he can just fly away, and in fact there were not. So he was able to get several drone kills. Just having this presence on the map of the Void Rays gets away with them. Blink is on the way, 7 more drones for Coca, and even though he lost a total of 5 workers there, he's going to be feeling good. By the way, Seed has not lost a single unit this game, no probes, nothing.
Did you see how he just moved those sentries away? Moves a few sentries to the left, at 6 at the front, saw the Zerglings, tries to get some of them onto the ramp, out of the sighting, out of the range of the vision of the Zerglings.
Right.
And here comes now exactly what you would expect at some point, the Hydra Den, just to make sure that he's safe against these air units, because he doesn't want to be off guard here. So pretty interesting now, this transition for Seed, something that we don't see all this often. So at this point, let's see how exactly he's going to deal with this. Coca already going for the Spire as well. Infestation Pit, he's adding every single tech in the book right now. We have Infestation Pit, we have a Spire, we have Hydras. He's going to be safe. He can just transition immediately when he knows what's coming.
That's what is awesome about Zerg, that flexibility that you have, that as long as you have Larva and the tech required, you can basically make anything, prepare for any situation if you have the scouting information. So a pretty cool catch-all here. He's making 1 Hydralisk right now, and he's going to actually force 4 sentries to be warped in here. And he's actually just getting 2 sentries, a few stalkers, Photon Cannon goes up as well. The aggressive attack to the north, though, relatively unscouted. I don't think he seems to be unaware of this.
I don't think that he's seen it just yet. He assumes that there's going to be something he's going to move out, but he doesn't know from where he's going to hit. And at this point, Seed is waiting for additional warp-ins. He also wants his units that he had to warp at the bottom. And if he plays this right, he can actually do a lot of damage. He was a little bit, maybe a little bit too blinky there with the stalkers, but the sentries, they don't die.
Yep. And he's now got Blink, +2 is lining up really nicely with this. This is very well planned by Seed. Roach barely escapes there. So many units warping in, 6 more stalkers. And yeah, there are some Hydras on the map. They do not have range yet. It's only halfway done. They will have it by the time that the attack hits. But this is going to be such a tough push to hold, especially with the Void Ray still in here as well. Spore Crawler is under fire right away. He's got so many force fields available.
And Coca, of course, tries to defend here, needs this counterattack from behind, also taking down the pylon now, trying to make sure that there are no reinforcements, but 2 pylons are ready, and the next round of warp-ins hits, whereas Coca is just trying to get more roaches, and of course Hydralisk, the force fields are spot on. This is going to be so close.
Yeah, he's trying to do what he can to defend, but he loses so much trying to get those pylons, only getting the 1. Like you mentioned, there are already 2. The Void Rays remain alive as well. He's microed them back against the Spore Crawlers. The Hydra's never able to connect with them. They're doing so much extra damage here.
These force fields are once again sick. This is what Seed is known for. Perfect force fields. He was able to trap everything, to force every single unit out that he didn't want to engage. He made sure that those drones could not attack, that he couldn't take any damage at all. And Coca is struggling a lot while Seed is blinking stalker after stalker.
Yeah, his micro is perfect here. Even without Guardian Shield, he just does not stand a chance. The stalkers may do an offensive blink now. He's ready for it. Will he do it? Yes! takes out the queens one after another, and Koka's going to have to GG here. Seed with a great build here, a little bit risky, but you know what? Sometimes risks pay off, and in this case, they really did.
That was really well executed by Seed. I was amazed by his force fields. They were once again, they were just crazy. There was not a single gap in there. He's dancing the Stalkers right now. He knows he can, and it's just, wow, this was really well executed. GG.